Hi, friends. Happy Thursday. It's Friday Eve, right? It's Thursday. And so, you know what that means. It's time for Has God Been Good or What? I'm Shay. And if you're new here, we I share testimony each week of God's goodness, His faithfulness, and I hope that it encourages you. If you do come across this video, it encourages you, it lifts your faith, and that it is for you. That's my hope, that the people who need it at the time when it's shared, or even in the future, that they will come across this video. And so today I'm going to get straight into it, right? Now I had to step away from my desk because if I stayed there, the phone probably ring or somebody might come to me, and I probably would not get the chance to do it, the testimony right now. And I do know that I'm gonna be home later than usual, so I am making an effort to do it now. It's 2:52 in the afternoon, and of course I am in Jamaica, so it may be a different time for you, but that's the time that I'm recording this right now. So yeah, I have a jacket on because the office is really cold. But anyways, this is not about me. Let's get into it. So I remember a few videos back, I think maybe the first or second video, I shared about my promotion at work. So I was working in the audit department downstairs, and then I got promoted to the account supervisor, which is now I'm sitting upstairs, right? Now, when I got promoted, another lady got promoted as well to manager. So I would be reporting to her. Yeah. And then she would report directly to my boss. Well, we both report to him, but she would be my direct report, right? Yeah. Now, um, I not I like how should I say this? Whatever I'm given to do, I always try to do my best. And so I was doing that. I mean, this was a new role. I've never been in this position before, but I was giving it my all. And I just felt like it wasn't enough. There was a problem with everything, y'all. And even in meetings where I am present, sometimes stuff would be said that were not true concerning me. And I would be right there, and I would be like, but this isn't true, you know? But I just felt like I was being picked on, and I didn't know why. But I made up my mind that, hey, I'm not going to fight back. I am going to hold my peace. And I remember I said to the Lord, I said, you put me in this position, so and you have to fight for me. I'm not going to retaliate. Even if I'm in the meeting and a lie is being told, I'm not going to say anything. I am not going to defend myself. And I remember having that thought, like, if you're in the meeting and the lie is being told, what happens when you're not here? Anyways, so I came up here at the end of November, December, January. By February, I got the entire staff, we got a notification that this person would no longer be working with us. Right. Before I get to that, one time we were in a meeting, right? Before we got in the meeting, she had told me to do something, and I said to her, it doesn't make any sense to do it like this, because what she was asking me to do was already done by another staff, like a junior staff, she was telling me to do it over. So I said, it doesn't make sense. I was explaining like based on this. She insisted. So I said, okay, as you're my manager, I'm gonna get it done. When we went in the meeting, my boss was so upset. He was like, why did you do this? He was basically like, I put you in this position because I expect you to make decisions that make sense. She did not step up and say, oh, I was the one that told her to do it. Nothing at all. And I remember coming out of that meeting, I felt so dejected, so down. I went to God and I was crying. And I was like, Lord, what is this? So, as I said, I wasn't going to defend myself and I was serious. So, fast forward to February, we get a notification that this person she was demoted before she got fired. And I was like, oh my God, what? I went home, I went into prayer on her behalf. This person that is, always at me. I went into prayer concerning her, praying for her. I was like, oh my God, how does she feel knowing that she was promoted and then demoted? I felt so bad. Fast forward to, I think that may be January. Fast forward to February, she was terminated. Again, I go home and I'm in prayer because I'm like, oh my God, help her. I'm just praying for her genuinely, and I mean it. Praying genuinely for this person. Only to find out afterwards that this whole time, I'm praying for her and all of that. She has been trying to make me look bad, and not just that, to get me fired and or demoted. Which I found out afterwards, of course, and I was so shocked. I was so shocked. I was like, what? No. The reason why I said I wasn't going to fight back or anything, I remember maybe 2 years ago, when I read Daniel. So in the book of Daniel, right, he's promoted in chapter 2. By the time we get to chapter 6, of course, the king was deceived to make this new decree that no one should petition any other god except except for him, right? I have it here. Right? No one is supposed to make petition to any god or man within 30 days except to the king, right? Or they would be thrown in the lion's den. So the king was deceived because they were trying to get at Daniel. Of course, God takes no pleasure in or delight in those who shrink back. So, of course, Daniel is bold and he's going to pray to his God because our God is the true and living God, right? So, he's thrown into the lion's den or cast into the lion's den. Fine. No, the king was not pleased with this because they did all of this to try to set Daniel up. The king was not aware. So, of course, he genuinely loved Daniel. Daniel had the spirit of excellence on him, all of that. So, at the break of day, it says in verse 19, he arose and went in haste to the den of lions. So, the king really loved Daniel because as morning, he got up and went to check about Daniel. And he's a king, all right? And this is the part that I love. When the king rushed to the den, he cried out, Daniel. He cried out to Daniel. I'm reading it from the Bible app. He said, "Oh Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve continually, been able to deliver you from the lions?" Then Daniel said to the king, "O king, live forever." Verse 21, just that one verse. Then Daniel said to the king, O king, live forever. Now you might be wondering what I got out of that. Daniel did not give the king no attitude. He did not grumble. He hailed the king with respect. O king, live forever. Because regardless of how he felt, the king was the king. And what I got from that revelation, I got from this was, I must remain innocent before God. I must remain blameless. So when my matter or situation is brought up before him, my response should be one of innocence. It should be one of, no matter, despite all that was happening, this young lady maintained her integrity. She continued to represent Jesus. She did not do the most. Her attitude, when I say do the most, that's just a term that I used to say. Like now I hear people say crash out a lot. When I say do the most, it means you're just being extra. It should be said that despite what was happening, Chanel maintained her integrity. She continued to represent Jesus. I have held that. I've stored this with me from that time up until now. And in every situation, I try. I don't always get it right. But I try to let my demeanor and the way that I handle situations be one that God can be pleased with me, you know. Yeah. So I want to say to you today, you might feel like you're being fought. You might be wrongly accused. Just like Daniel, people might set traps for you. If you are innocent before God, if your hands are clean, your heart is pure, guess what? The Bible says, God says vengeance is his. And if you belong to the King, the true and living God, even Nebuchadnezzar acknowledged God as the true and living God. If you belong to the true and living God, you'll be fine. He will fight for you. Yep. And so you don't need to fight. You don't need to retaliate. You don't need to defend yourself. Every situation requires wisdom. But remember that God is your refuge and strength. Remember that he will not just sit back and watch. He will not just sit back and watch us being consumed. He will fight for us. The Lord of hosts is our God. And so I hope that this encourages you today to be still and know that you serve the true God. Just be still. Just trust him. Vengeance is his. And I do not take any pleasure in what happened. I still prayed concerning the lady. I still prayed for her. Even after I found out what she was trying to do to me. And that's another lesson right there. If God put you in a position, let me tell you something, nobody can take you out. Even if you decide to take yourself out, God does not take back gifts. So anything that he gives you, it's still yours. Even if you give it back. Or try to give it back. Because he doesn't take gifts back, it's still yours. So I hope that this encourages you. I feel like I want to talk some more on this, but let's see if we'll be able to do that next week. Let's see what the Holy Spirit says. But I hope that this encouraged you. I hope that your spirit is lifted. I know when you're going through certain situations and you feel unjust, that the situation is unjust, you are being persecuted and you are innocent. I know it doesn't feel good at all. But continue to trust God. Continue to push through. Maintain your integrity and your innocence. Continue to be the to represent the invisible God. Be the image of the invisible God. Bear the image of Jesus Christ through and through. You can do it. He has empowered you. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Remember that the Spirit of the living God lives inside of you, and you are more than a conqueror. You are an overcomer in Jesus' name.